Hello, this is Doris Sander, and I have just this month started using a bullet journal at work for teaching, and I thought I might share what I've come up with so far for my weekly spreads and how that's working out for me. This was the last week in July, actually. I went back to work, but work days, students weren't here yet. So I just came up with this simple format of the 5 boxes for the 5 days of the week and a note section, and this worked fine. I mean, it was just get her done kind of week, nothing major here. And I did initially put my days of the week and dates down the sides, and I didn't really like that, and I put the notes in the box, and I liked that more. But then once I got text in here, I kind of do like that down the side, so I might revisit that at some point. But this was just like my first week in practicing. So then the next week when students came back, this was the layout that I came up with initially. And you can tell first week back of school is crazy, and I didn't really find any breathing room until Wednesday, so I didn't get much planning done on paper. I got a lot done at work, but I didn't get to planning it until maybe Wednesday. And so initially this was my lesson plan box, and this was for to-do list. And then I teach at 2 different high schools, so these 2 boxes were for my 2 high schools to put specific to those location things that I had to do. So this was my first idea, was to have the lesson plan column and the to-do list, and then anything I needed to do at the schools specifically, I would put in their specific boxes. And just looking at it, I felt like it was too complicated, definitely. And I wanted to simplify it. So, I mean, it worked okay, but I really wanted to simplify it. So, I started playing around with the format, and you can see me trying out different things here. And I even tried vertical, but really I love the look of the horizontal, so my heart was set on horizontal. So this didn't really look like it was going to work out anyway. And I meant to practice in the back of the book where my junky pages are, but I forgot. But that's okay. So I practiced, and then I came up with this simplified version. And this is what I used last week, and it worked like a charm. So let me kind of walk you through all the little details of what I've done here. So first off, I narrowed the lesson plan column a little bit to give myself more room in these 2 columns. But I teach at 2 schools, but I'm lucky this year in that I get to teach the same thing at both schools. So I more or less have one lesson plan that I'm working from for both classes. And so I made the column here to check off, like I list what we're going to do, and then I check off if we've done it. And like, for example, here we did it at the 2nd high school, but I assigned it for homework at the 1st, things like that. And there's another homework check. And some places I got to it at one school and not the other, and knew that I had to catch up with it the next day. Like here, there was an event and I lost some time in that class and made a note of it. So this is working really well. And it might not look like I planned much based on this little scribble list, but actually I keep a lesson plan binder, and I like to plan in units. So this is like all my information in this binder, and then I have another binder where I keep all my units that I've come up with, and I just pull from that. And so we're currently working on the most dangerous game. We're doing this unit, and so I have my lesson plan sheet in here. So I have all my lesson plans for the whole unit in here, and you can see that I'm adding to and updating and rearranging things as I go. And so my intent is at the end of this unit, I'll go in and retype and reformat some things so it'll be fresh the next time I pull it out next year. So this system works really well for me, and I keep all of any of the paperwork associated with the unit. I just keep it in here, and I actually just teach straight from the unit, you know, because it's all in here. And so when I say that I put the lesson plans in this tiny column, these are just like basic references to what's in my binder, what we're going to do that day. So that's working really well. And then these columns I changed. So initially I had one to-do list and then site-specific boxes. And I changed that to just 2 to-do lists. So the first one's for my first high school and the second one is for my second high school. And then my check boxes, I'm using those to indicate if it's site specific or not. So most of my check boxes are little squares, but see, here's a triangle. I don't really have many there's a triangle there too. The triangles are events that are site-specific and date-specific. So I help students a lot individually. So when they have a test or, you know, something that I need to make sure I do that day at that school, then I'm using a triangle to indicate that. And because you don't want to forget that you had to do something in the morning and too late because you're already at another location and can't do it. And then I use little circles. I don't think I have any on here, but I'm using a circle for meetings. Sorry, the cat wanted in. So I'm using little tiny circles for meetings like staff meetings or IEP meetings or whatever. Those don't come up much, but so it's just working really well for me. I've used this area. Originally, I planned on it being notes and leaving it just one entire open box. But I got so busy making all my lines that I just forgot and made lines here too. And I was slightly annoyed at first, but it really worked out well because now I can categorize my notes. So notes for planning, notes for the first school, and notes for the second. It works really well. And then I also changed, I realized that I needed a space for forward planning. So this section has actually become my forward planning section. So I'll show you on this week's spread. This is the forward planning section. So making notes for what I need to do for lesson plans next week and things I need to do, upcoming things I need to do. I'm already labeling a few here for the following week. So really, really nice. That's working really well. And so then when I changed this to forward planning, I realized that I needed a place to write down just notes, things that pop in my head. So I've started keeping a rapid log. So this, and I've dated them so that they're specific to the week. So this is just really random information, like, you know, things that are marked in the computer wrong that I need to correct, like a teacher's Google Classroom that I needed to remember. I have some student grades under here that I haven't made a grade sheet in here yet, so I just wrote them down on the rapid log for now. Things like that. So they're not necessarily to-do items, but they're things that I need to write down and remember. So it's just working really well. So this is this week. And last week I kind of wrote down things from day to day. This week I've gotten a little bit ahead of myself because we're finishing the unit and I wanted to see when we would finish so I would know when I needed to schedule the test. So we're getting a little ahead there. But yeah, it's working really well. And like you can see, this this item I didn't get to last week, so I put an arrow through it. So I remembered, I put it on the forward planning, I think, yeah, because I didn't get to it, and then so I put it up here and I got to it today. So that little arrow means I didn't get to it and I moved it. A lot of times if I don't get to it, I'll just leave it there, and since it's open, I'll just go back and do it the next day. But if I want to, I don't know, if I want to move it for a specific reason, I do. So yeah, this is just really working out so well. I'm just very, very much delighted with this system, and I'm sure that it will morph over time. But right now, it is serving the purpose very well, and I love it. So let me know if you have any questions, anything you noticed that I didn't answer, and I would be happy to try to do that. And thanks for watching, and I will chat with you soon. Bye.